Whereabouts?
Just there, on the other side of this wall.
Yeah,
There you
just
go.
this.
Downed.
You fucking
Liz.
legend, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow this, darling.
This
Right.
suck.
I'll run through
Oh,
first.
wait. Person there. Behind the table.
Where?
On ping. Literally on that ping.
Whoa, fuck. On that other.
Hello.
You know the wall that blew out?
Four last operator standing.
Where?
He's over here. Oh, that's where he was. He's right here. Hello.
Thank you, honestly.
That was ridiculous. That fucking pink monstrosity.
I love it.
Don't
I found my
shoot.
new
I
name.
like the way the fucking thing says don't shoot.
Can somebody cover me whilst I reinforce?
We have a Cali outside east.
Has anybody got an impact I can borrow?
Yes. hang
No,
on.
mate.
No. If you're away from
Enemy drone
if you're away from
Okay.
Jake, have you got shotty mate or not? Yeah, it's a lie and he's somehow killed me. He's got a pixel peek on the door. He's not 95.
Enemy drone is coming in for a scan. You're exposed.
Go on.
Interrogation.
Yes, fun. Get in, Chris. I think he's repelling that.
Got national security.
We'll get flashed.
Right.
And another one. Jake, watch out.
Ha! He's dead.
Yeah, let's do a kill man at the wall.
If I had a fucking nitro, I'd be set, but I haven't.
Liz has skill mines.
What's that?
Oh,
I
nearly got
am
Cali.
Down,
attempting
down.
to be Cali'd.
And... Ah, she fucking ran off the bitch.
Unlucky, mate.
Yeah, be well careful.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Coming for you.
Poisoned by goo. Don't worry about me, get Montagna. Ah, okay,
Gotcha.
cheers.
Don't peek the window and get fucking
50
done.
seconds left.
She's not there. Right, moving back.
You will be detected if
They
you
have to
remain
come
in
to
this
us,
area.
remember.
You have been spotted.
Interrogation. Oh, hey, damn man. I wasted time. Fuck you. You ain't getting in.
Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
I mean, realistically, Chris should have had 2 interrogations there, but
Hold
Steady
on,
hand,
everybody.
darling. Very nice.
yeah, well done. Realistically, Liz plays.
Op 4 is securing the bio.
Injured.
Hi, everybody.
Only one of you.
I've been asked to make this video by several people for quite some time now. And it's basically about our mate Dean, what happened, and why we never play with him anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm
So,
going to stand in front of
here
him.
goes.
That's what I do.
I met Dean basically
There's still
in
one more in
Operation Dustline,
On
the second season of when the game released.
Oh, I've got 2 of
I remember we were playing on a border map doing T-hunts. I was on my own at that time. I didn't play with anybody. Brothers didn't have the game. Nobody I knew had the game. I was just playing by myself.
I've got 2 on ping,
Uh,
basically.
Met him, met a couple of his friends, Mojo Jamos, EX19. Yeah, we carried on playing, became squad mates, slowly became friends. Eventually Tony, John, Jordan and Sam joined. Kennelly introduced us to other players, Rogan. If you've got Crocklin on one of my drones,
Jackal on stairs, Kennelly.
After a while, Tony and Dean had a falling out. Tony said something to Dean. I don't know whether it was in-game. I can't remember. It was either in-game or it was on WhatsApp or something. And it was completely out of order. Tony shouldn't have said it.
I'm dead as well.
Dean fell out with him. I decided to stay with Dean because I didn't believe that Tony had any right to say what he did. I can't say this enough. I can't remember what the argument was about. I know it was very personal. I just can't remember what it was about. But I decided to stick with Dean, basically because I felt that Dean was in the right and Tony shouldn't never have said what he did, whatever that was. So we continued playing. Eventually Tony and Dean made up after probably about a
You've
month,
got
I
so many
think.
people down who are like littered around you.
I got Jackal down.
During the time that they split up, Dean introduced us to Tom, Jake, and I.
No,
Oh,
no.
fuck.
When we all joined back up again, it was such a massive team. Sometimes there was like 8 of us on at the same time, so we'd split up into two groups of 4, or play customs, stuff like that. Eventually, one time, Tony and Tom had a falling out over a game where Tom basically blamed
Oh, go on.
Tony for getting him killed when it wasn't Tony's fault. It was Tom's fault. He put a shield in a doorway, and then he couldn't get out of that doorway because he'd put his own shield there, and eventually lost his game. And then basically it started a tit for tat of them team killing each other. And eventually I just stopped playing with Tom and Jake and Pi. Basically say I just couldn't be arsed. Basically, I just saved my sanity.
Where?
Biohazard container.
Eventually, I made back up with Tom,
You should start in blue.
mainly through
You should
Dean,
come
to be
through
honest.
blue.
But Tony and Tom would not play with each other. They can't stand each other.
Chris.
So I went through a period where I was playing with Tony one night, and then playing with Tom another night, and Jake, and then switching over, and then sometimes playing ranked with Tony and Jordan, Sam, and then another night when they weren't on, I'd play with Tom, Jake.
One on Dean, just there.
When I did swap teams, I'd always tell the other team what I was doing. Like I'd tell Tom, Jake, I can't play tonight, I'm playing ranked with the others, and vice versa. And normally, if Tony and Jordan was on, I'd play with them.
No, that was somebody else.
Basically because they play ranked, and Tom and Jake never played ranked. Not when I
Can you
was
start
playing ranked
punching
anyway.
holes in this, Tom? Tom, can you start punching holes in this? Another one?
Eventually, I ended up playing more and more with Tom and Jake. Basically because Jordan would only be on like 3 nights every month because of his shift work. Sam would basically never be on. Tony was on 2 days a week at that point. I think it was a Sunday night and something else. So I just ended up playing mostly with Tom and Jake.
I know where he is. He's in library.
Yeah, and I know where he is.
This went on for probably
Well, you're not the
I
one.
don't know, 6 months of me playing mostly with Tom and Jake, occasionally playing ranked with Tony and Jordan whenever they came on. Obviously, Dean would do exactly the same as what I would have done, which is basically hop back and forth between them, which was fine. But mainly we were just playing with Tom and Jake. I think mainly it was most 90% of the time we were playing with Tom and Jake. Eventually, Dean would have some weird absences. He'd make an excuse like he's got to go out that night, not play. I remember one time he said he had to go to see a film, and then did go to see a film, but it didn't come on anyway. Sometimes he just wouldn't turn up. The problem with this is that Tom and Jake basically wait for people to turn up so they can play with them. So if you don't turn up, then they're just sitting in a lobby waiting for you. If you say you're going to turn up and you don't turn up, they've basically wasted half an hour of sitting around waiting for you to actually turn up, which is really bad. But Dean would have these things where he'd say, I'm going to come on tonight, or the previous night he'd say, I'm going to come on tomorrow night, play with you lot, and then by 8 o'clock, half 8, he hadn't turned up.
Op 4 is securing the container. They've ceased attempting to secure the
Because we were playing as a group, we had an app that basically told people what rank they were. And during these absences, we noticed that Dean's rank had changed, so he'd make an excuse that he couldn't be on because of a certain thing or something personal, and then next morning his rank had changed. So eventually we got the idea that all of these lies, these excuses that he was giving was just nonsense, and basically he was just playing with Tony and Jordan, which was fine to us, but he should have told us that he was just playing with them so we could have got on with our game, instead of basically lying about what he was doing. all the time. After several months of this, because this went on for probably about 2 or 3 months of him doing this, weird absences, lying, all of this sort of thing. Whenever he did play, we noticed he changed the way he was. He was more sullen. He was obnoxious sometimes.
Chris, you
Uh,
muted and you don't know.
Tell people who to play as, and then not talk to them. Or then he'd tell them how to play. Sometimes he'd tell you to pick an operator, and then tell you where to put your things, even though you don't play that operator.
On the ping there.
And then sometimes he'd just tell you to play an operator, and then he'd walk off the other side of the map. So you didn't know why you'd picked that operator, or what you were meant to do with that operator. You just been told to do it by Ding. He'd do a lot of backseat gaming. He'd normally die first, and then he'd sit and watch people instead of the cameras. He'd just sit and watch people and basically backseat game. You know, do this, do that, look this way, go down that hallway, that sort of thing. That sort of thing really winds me up anyway, but he never used to do that much.
Has to be done it. Chris, if I fire
Wait, I'm just going to
Sometimes he acted superior, and he basically,
No, he's not.
because he'd got Platt under Tony and Jordan and Rogan, he basically
He's right in this corner round here.
tried to shove it in people's faces that he got Platt, which wasn't particularly useful to anybody. He'd do this thing where he'd just get a normal kill, just a normal stand in the middle of a hallway and kill somebody, and then he'd go, once a Platt, always a Platt, and it was like, that wasn't anything special. You just killed somebody. He'd do that, he'd try and rub it in people's faces, and I think that got on Tom and Jake's nerves a lot more than it did mine, but it was still annoying. Sometimes he'd actually ignore strats we were doing. Sometimes he'd basically pick the operator he needed and then do something completely different on the other side of the map, even though we'd already discussed what strat we were going to do and what we were actually going to do during the round. That got really annoying because he did that a fair few times. I ended up literally screaming at him to do what we told him to do in the first place. Even Liz said eventually when she came on, she was like, "What's up with Dean?" And we'd be like, and he's been up like this for quite a while, to be honest. It just seems really different. I'm like, he's been playing with Rogan a lot. And to be fair, I think that's what the problem is. I think because he's been playing with Rogan a lot more, he's picked up some of his attributes, because he's basically turned into a mini Rogan, basically. And it's kind of annoying. So this happened over the course of many months. I remember on a Monday night, Dean said he'd be on the next night. Obviously I wasn't. Tuesday night, it's date night with Liz. On WhatsApp, the lads on Tuesday night were messaging him saying, "Are you coming on?" And he'd just ignore them, because he did that a lot as well. You'd message him saying, "Are you coming on?" and he'd just ignore you. And then you'd see his stats had changed the next day, and you're going, "Oh, so he's ignoring us because he's playing ranked," instead of just saying, "I'm playing ranked, I won't be on tonight." But they were basically waiting for him for like 45, 50 minutes. Eventually Jake sent him a message on WhatsApp going, "Look, if it's going to be like this, then I'm not playing with you anymore. I can't be doing with this anymore."
Oh, fuck you.
So then Dean unfriended Jake and Tom on PlayStation Network. The day after he unfriended me, he then put up a video on YouTube with all of Jake's best bits, basically blowing smoke up Jake's arse to try and get him to play with us again, to play with him again, because he basically knows that Jake can get him to play easier, because that's all he's interested in now. He's not interested in like friendship or anything like that. He's basically just interested in getting as high in this game as possible, which is fine if you're really that interested in that sort of thing. Yeah, so basically tried to poach Jake to play with him.
There's two there.
Oh, can't do anything.
To be honest, looking back,
Reverse
Uh,
punch
every time he came on, there was like tension in the group. You could feel it. You could cut it with a knife. This tension.
Nice.
down. Main double.
So
Line.
it's probably a good thing we don't play with him anymore. I do miss playing with him.
Around here.
You know, I played with him for 4 years. He was a friend, and I played with virtually every night.
Come on.
So it is sad that it has
Please tell
He's
me.
peeking.
come to this.
No,
He was
in the
he,
middle of the.
you know, he was a friend.
Yeah, am I going up? He's peeking.
But obviously he's
Main door.
changed and things move
Peeking
on.
main door.
And yeah, that's pretty much a story.
He's gone into ATM.
Would I play with him again? Yes, I would. But I don't know whether I'd mute him or not, because I just don't want to listen to his toxicity.
Right here.
On ping. Right in the east corner.
Yeah.
Right in the east corner. Think we should-
Hope he does well. Hope he's happy with his decisions that he's made. And that's about it. I'll leave you with the rest of these clips from the game, where after Dean basically removed us from PlayStation Network, we ran into him and Hogan in a match, in a casual match. And see you all around. Maybe.
Boss mat in front of the window's gone. The other mine's still there.
That's
Right,
single.
no, Legion's opened into electrical room. He's opened the wall.
The single wall has a frost mat behind it. I've opened the
Guys, watch out.
Boss
Legion's
mat's gone.
shooting from electrical.
Yeah, Legion's in.
There's nobody in the actual room itself.
Do you know what? Fuck this. They won't be expecting this. Bro.
Boosting.
Secure the container.
But Legion's out in the middle of open area.
Secure the
Not
bomb
open area.
container.
Lobby.
Op 4 last.
Yes!
Yes, boys!
Yep, fuck me.
Right, mate, C4's coming in.
Boosting.
Barrel with grenade. I'll be flash.
Can't see anything. Thanks for flashing me, whoever did that. That's great.
Secure the container.
You just got us all killed.
Hang
As
on.
well.
Boost. Oh, fuck's sake. Guys. We could have had that.
Yeah.
That was all me.
Fucking, I just got flashed and got killed.
Oh, I couldn't see him.